Today I am presenting my project CDC pipeline from Postgres to a search index. This project captures databases changes from PostgreSQL, process them through a CDC consumer service, indexes the data, and provides search functionality through an API and front-end interface. Let me walk you through all the important folders and files in the project. First, look at the root level files .env.example file. It contains sample environment variables required for project configuration. Now you can see the .kidignore file. It specifies files and folders that should not be tracked by Git. The next root folder is docker compose.yml file. It defines and manages all project services using Docker containers. Next, we can see the submission.json file. It stores project submission related information. The next root file is testpipeline.py. It contains automated tests to verify the complete CDC pipeline functionality. Now, moving to the API folder, uh, we have main.py file. This is the backend API application that handles fetching request and communicates with the index data. Next, we can see the requirements.txt file. It contains all Python dependencies needed by the API services. Now we can see the Docker file in the API folder. It defines the Docker image configuration for the API container. Together, these files provide search and data retrieval functionality. Now we can see the CDC consumer folder. This is the core CDC consumer application. It listens for database changes from PostgreSQL and process inserts and update and delete events. Now you can see the requirements.txt file. It contains dependencies requires the CDC consumer service. The next we can see the Docker file in the CDC consumer folder. It defines the Docker image used to run the CDC consumer container. This service is responsible for keeping the search index synchronized with database changes. Now let's look at the front-end folder. Here front-end folder we have index.html file, the main HTML entry point of the front-end application. Next we can see the package.json file. It contains front-end dependencies and project scripts. The next we can see the file white.config.js. It provides configuration for the white build tool. Inside the source folder we can see main.jx file. It React application entry point. Next, we can see the app.jsx file, the main UI component that displays search functionality and results. Now we can see the index.css file. It contains styling and layout definition for the frontend. This frontend provides an interface for the user to search index records. Next is the intdb folder. Here we can see the int.sql file. Inside the indb folder, this SQL script initializes the PostgreSQL database, creates required tables, and inserts initial data. It prepares the database for the CDC operation. To summarize, this project consists of PostgreSQL database initialization, CDC consumer service, Search API service, React frontend built with White, Dockerized deployment, automated pipeline testing. Together, these components create a complete change data capture pipeline that keeps a search index synchronized with database updates in real time. Thank you.